What is going on YouTube? Acrez here again, and today what we're going to be doing is talking about After Effects and Final Cut render settings for Apple Mac. Now, I'm not sure if this will work on Windows machines because I don't own a Windows machine myself, but we're going to crack on with the Apple render settings for After Effects ready to import into Final Cut. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to jump into After Effects real quick. We're not actually making anything today, this is just about the render settings. So if this is just my black book video, I just used it as an example. If we go to composition, make sure we select the layer composition, add to render queue. If we pull this up so we can see what we're doing. Now in the output module, lossless, if we double click on lossless, this is going to bring up these sort of output render settings. Now if you're using Apple and you edit with Final Cut, if I'm ever using After Effects and then I'm going to be importing into Final Cut, what I always export as is Apple codecs, and I can show you this here now. If we go to format options under the video output and compression type, it's set to animation on default, and animation's alright, but if you go down to the second one down, which is Apple codecs, select that, and you can either select 1080p, 1080i or 720p. Usually I'll work with 720p because that's what I upload to YouTube in 720p. So once you've selected Apple codecs, click OK, and then now this is for importing into Final Cut Express. And the reason why we choose Apple codecs is because if you set up Final Cut, when you're ready to import your clips, you don't have to render the clips every time you make an edit. They're free to work with, like you don't have to keep rendering within Final Cut. So to do that, all you have to do is export from After Effects in Apple codecs, and then I'm just going to jump over to Final Cut here to explain a little bit more of what I'm talking about. And first off, what you want to do is change your Final Cut Express or Pro settings. So you can do this by going to Final Cut Express at the top and then go to Easy Setup. And once that opens, that is the sort of the settings. So when you make a new sequence, the settings will be these. Now if yours probably won't have it on, but yours will probably be on HD or maybe PAL or something along those lines, and there's loads of different sort of compression types you can choose here. But if we use Apple codecs and then change to our selected one, which was 720p, so I'm just going to select that one, frame rates, all frame rates, set up, and you're all good to go. Now the thing about that is you need to make a new sequence for that to take effect. So you have to right click, go to new sequence, right click on the new sequence, and we want to open timeline. And now when you import your footage, the footage that we exported from After Effects using the Apple codecs format, if we just drag that clip onto the timeline now, you can see that straight away it's ready to work with. We don't have to render anything, and we can continue to edit this. We can chop it up, we can move it about, we can add effects to it, and you don't need to keep re-rendering the file every time you want to make a change to it. And this is probably one of the most useful things to know about Final Cut and After Effects, is how to use this method, and it really speeds up your editing, mate. For the little longer that it takes to export to Apple codecs, it's well worth the time that you'll save in editing. So that pretty much wraps it up for today's little talk and tips about Final Cut and After Effects render settings. Hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful and you learned something. Don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment box below, and I will see you again very soon in another video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.